This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
I saw this article on bankrate.com that said when the best time to retire is. And one way to answer this question is to have that can have a big impact on your retirement income and taxes that you owe. For instance, they say retiring early in the year, and I want to take this one first and we'll tackle the next one. Retiring early in the year may help keep your tax rate low. Are they right about that or are they off?
That's
hard to say.
That's a loaded question. It depends on when you're eligible for Social Security, when those benefits kick in. On, if you have if you're a federal employee, you have a large chunk of annual leave payout. I mean, that could potentially be, 3 or 4 months worth of income.
Are your expenses high? Do you need to take money out of your IRA or retirement accounts to fund the remaining part of the year?
Yeah. So
that could be worse. Yeah.
So not only is it a huge emotional decision when you retire, because we see that too, working with many different clients. It's a huge emotional decision. It's a huge financial decision, and it all depends on cash flow, and everyone's situation is different. Same kind of loaded question. When should I retire? People ask me, well, how much money do I need to retire? Well, it's all relative. It depends on, what your day-to-day expenses are. It depends on what your Social Security benefits look like. It depends on how much you have in your portfolio. So, it's definitely not a one size fits all, which is why we put together a customized financial plan. Sam and I actually worked with a younger client recently here in the Hanover office who's in her 40s. And her goal was that she wanted to retire by 55. And what she meant by that was she wanted to not work as hard as she's working now. She wanted some passive income that was going to allow her to work a part-time job or kind of do something that was fulfilling to her. And so Sam and I ran the numbers, and we figured out with the assets that she had saved, plus some rental income she had, and then taking Social Security at 62, we were able to put together a plan where from basically 50 to 60, we were able to design some income from her from a cash value life insurance policy that's tax-free. Wow. And then she could work part-time during those years to kind of reach her income goals. And then once she turned 60, we turned on an annuity income rider for her that was going to pay her for life. But starting it so young, we were able to fund it with a lower dollar amount because it has compounding interest over time, that annuity basically created that income stream adjusted for inflation for her from 15 to 20 years from now. So it all starts with a plan. When it all starts with emotional decision when you want to retire. I mean,
your goals.
Goals. Yeah. We always say that your goal should determine your investments. Your investments shouldn't determine your goals.
The tail doesn't wag the dog wags the tail.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. Next on this list, on this bankrate.com article that I read was retiring later in the year can boost your savings and Social Security benefits. But I already know what you guys are going to say, that it depends on whose situation is all relative. So I'm going to get all these fancy reports and articles that I got and just tear them up like I just did there and just throw them away, because it really depends on your situation. You guys have already solved the problem because you have to come in and actually get a custom financial plan for you. But Katherine, I want to bring up what you mentioned and talking with this younger client. And I found this interesting because when we talk about retirement, everybody thinks, okay, I'm going to retire and I'm not going to do anything. I'm older. But this makes me look at it a little differently, because she retired early because she could. But she doesn't want to stop working. She just wants to maybe work less or have the freedom to do what she wants to do work-wise.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing that very big in the younger generation, the Gen X, millennials. Like, they're more about like the work-life balance and their impact on the world and all these different things, where the baby boomer generation was more like, work, save. Retire. We're going to retire at a certain date, and they have that date set in their head, and they can't deviate from that. Sam and I even actually met with a couple here like a week ago, and they were dead set on taking Social Security at 70, like from the jump. Like that was their main thing. They kept
without even running a report.
No, without
they
even
didn't want to still. Yeah, they were nope, hard set on it. Yeah,
we planned on taking Social Security at 70, and then Sam and I showed them the numbers and basically showed them by waiting till 70, they were doing themselves a disservice because they were having money from their investment portfolio. And so by taking Social Security earlier and doing other certain goals and planning for other different things, we were able to show them how their portfolio assets grew in retirement, and they had a much larger nest egg for their later years by taking Social Security at full retirement age instead of 70. So that's just the power of planning. You don't need a crystal ball. You need to know the numbers and what your number is. And again, emotional decision comes into it as well. I mean, there's a lot of people where we tell them you could retire tomorrow and you're fine. You know, I have a lot of federal employees that come in, you know, and they're like, I don't know about taking the offer. Like I was set on retiring, you know, at 62 because I get 1.1% on my pension. And then I run the numbers and I'm like, does that 1.1, is that just an emotional thing? Because the numbers tell me you can retire today. So part of what we do is helping people hold their hand, cross the street to the retirement. And then there's people, you know, that I really enjoy what I do. You know, we call that the 3 bad day rule. So you have the luxury of knowing you enjoy what you do, but if they make you come back into the office, you could say, sayonara, and I'm going to retire.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, speaking of knowing your numbers, a number that you have to know to make sure that you have a good plan in place for retirement, a solid financial plan, is 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. We also remind you to like, subscribe, and share the podcast. That way you can take this on demand, listen to it whenever you want, or share it with your friends that may be thinking about retirement or have questions. You can share that with them. And the YouTube page is always available too. Make sure to like and subscribe that as well.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.